and perhaps irreversibly. There's now over 25 feet of water where there was once city streets and thriving neighborhoods.
Le 31 août, 48 heures après son arrivée, Katrina a complètement disparu. C'est l'ouragan le plus dévastateur de l'histoire des États-Unis. Les dommages matériels confirmés sont chiffrés à 86 milliards de dollars minimum. La Nouvelle-Orléans est complètement inondée, noyée sous 5 mètres d'eau. Mais Katrina laisse surtout derrière lui près de 1850 morts et plus d'1 300 000 personnes évacuées et déplacées. Les secours sont désorganisés. Le temps de réaction est très long, trop long. Aucune coordination au niveau de l'État et encore moins au niveau fédéral. L'administration Bush est accusée de ne pas avoir anticipé la catastrophe, pourtant annoncée et prévisible. Le président va mettre 5 jours avant de réagir et de venir sur place constater l'ampleur des dégâts et la douleur des victimes. Son absence de réaction, incompréhensible, a déclenché un profond ressentiment chez tous ceux qui se mobilisaient pour aider les victimes de Katrina. Des voix vont s'élever pour dénoncer ce silence assourdissant du pouvoir. Beaucoup d'émotions naturellement, mais aussi et surtout grande colère.
I hate the way they portray us in the media. If you see a black family, it says they're looting. If you see a white family, it says they're looking for food. George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Sur le plan politique, Katrina aura des conséquences désastreuses pour Bush. Il donne l'image d'un président insensible au sort de ses concitoyens, surtout ceux issus des classes pauvres de la société. Il acquiert aussi la réputation de plus grand pollueur de la planète, car c'est lui qui, dès sa prise de fonction, avait refusé de signer le protocole de Kyoto. Et ça, Leonardo ne l'a jamais oublié.
Now, the current administration we have has had a complete disrespect for our planet and our environment and reversed more environmental laws than anyone in my lifetime that I've seen. And what he's getting away with is unbelievable. And the news keeps getting worse every day. I mean, even here in Los Angeles, I'm sitting here in Los Angeles, I don't know if anyone's noticed, but it's like 98 degrees.
Alors, pour atténuer son impopularité record, W décide de devenir lui aussi un défenseur de la cause environnementale. L'écologie et la protection de la planète deviennent alors ses nouveaux chevaux de bataille.
Now a special address from the President of the United States on global warming.
Hello, America. It's me, your president, your commander-in-chief of the world. And I'm here at my ranch here in Crawford, Texas, just taking a little R&R, you know, relaxing, growing out my soul patch, playing a little frisbee golf with Condi Rice and Dick Cheney, having a good time, but still keeping my eye on the ball. And there's an issue that has come to my attention, the issue of the so-called global warmings that are happening on our planet. For centuries, the rays of the sun have warmed the surface of our Earth's crust. And apparently those rays are intensifying in such a way that it's increasing lava flows. And
Cut!
I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Global warming is an issue that my administration is very concerned about, deeply in a deep kind of concerned way. It's I start my day and I think about the warming of the globe and how we can get it warmer.
Cut!
Rest assured that the issue of global warming is something that my administration takes very seriously. Not right now, Condi. We'll play play later. I'm sure by now you've all heard what liberal scientists are trying to say. It seems that liberals and godless tax raisers are trying to make me look bad by using such things as facts and scientific data.
Cut.
What?
Mr. President, you can't say they're using facts.
Right.
These facts are real. They're not disputed.
How do you know that? What kind of book is this? Jeez. Why didn't you tell me it was a pop-up book? Those things scare the crap out of me.
I don't think that's the kind of science book we're looking for. We're talking about global.
Well, what kind of science book would you suggest?
There's a lot of books.
One filled with facts, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah. I bet you'd like that. When you think back to biblical times, when Adam and Eve talked to that snake 6,000 years ago, when the world was created, it was hot back then too. Why do you think Adam and Eve were naked? See what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not making this stuff up. You know, you didn't hear Adam and Eve running around talking about emission standards or hybrid cars. In fact, Adam and Eve drove an excursion.
Cut.
Let's talk about something that really matters, like keeping steroids out of T-ball.
Cut.
I think the polar ice caps suck. Who cares about having a place where a bunch of penguins can have an orgy?
Cut.
Global warming, don't worry about it. We got a beat on this thing. We're gonna, we just need to get nature to cooperate with us. We don't need to listen to nature. Nature needs to listen to us.
Cut. Mr. President, you asked me to tell you when the Rangers game's on. It's on right now.
What inning is it? Better not be past the third inning.
We're going to start off with a little something from still President Bush, although this is him not misspeaking during a Memorial Day ceremony.
I stand before you as the Commander-in-Chief and try to tell you how proud I am of the sacrifice and service of the men and women who wear our uniform. They're an awesome bunch of people.
They are awesome! He didn't that up at all! They do inspire awe. He is correct. Now, you'll recall recently on the program, we did show the president using that word less than appropriately.
Thank you, Holiness. Awesome speech.
In Bush's defense, the Pope's speech was the shiznit. I mean, seriously, the Pope was totally high when he gave that speech. Had a belly full of Funyuns, and he still... But in the past couple of months, awesome for the president is the new...
Mike Geisen is such an awesome teacher.
She's been awesome to work with.
Now she's going to go without the mic. That's awesome.
Ward, thanks for your remarks. Those were awesome. I guess that's a presidential word.
It didn't used to be. Previously, it was used primarily to describe, skateboarding. Or pizza. Or a dog on a skateboard eating a pizza. That would be awesome. Do we have that? Do we have... No? Because that would be awesome. As for still President Bush, he's continuing to sprint to the finish. He gave what will be his final address to a graduating class of a service academy at the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. How did he handle the occasion? Oh, great. Chest bump. Great. That's great. When I see the president do the chest bump, I cannot help but think that if he hadn't been things up for the past 7 years and was goofing around like this, would we love him? Would we be like, he is irrepressible? A scamp! Or does the whole doing that while Rome is burning aspect of his presidency sour us on his exuberance?
Dans quelques jours, les Américains éliront le 44e président des États-Unis, le successeur de ce bon vieux W. Ils auront à choisir entre John McCain, un type un peu réac, mais qui a pour lui de porter un nom de frites congelées, et Barack Obama, le premier afro-américain à se présenter à la présidence des USA. Mais quel que soit le vainqueur, ne soyons pas naïfs, nous avons de fortes chances de nous retrouver sur Jimmy en 2012 pour que je vous raconte en souriant ces 4 années de présidence. En attendant, salut, bonne soirée à tous. va se quitter quelques courts instants. Et oui, même sur Jimmy, il y a de la pub. Mais regardez-les, vous allez voir, elles sont bien, celles-là. Vous le savez maintenant, le 44e président des États-Unis se nomme Barack Obama. L'Amérique a osé Obama. Pour être franc, vous l'avez compris en regardant cette émission, notre cœur battait pour ce candidat étonnant. Et vous me connaissez, si Obama se plante, si on assiste à 4 années de conneries, nous nous retrouverons sur Jimmy en 2012 pour un spécial Barack. Salut, bonne soirée à tous. Vous le savez maintenant, le 44e président des États-Unis se nomme John McCain. Il n'était pas le plus progressiste des deux candidats et certaines de ses options semblent copier-coller sur les idées de Bush. Mais finalement, un homme qui porte un nom de frites congelées ne peut pas être totalement mauvais. Enfin, moi, en qualité de spécialiste en matière de frites congelées, je reste optimiste. Et puis, dans le pire des cas, si on assiste encore à 4 années de conneries, nous nous retrouverons sur Jimmy en 2012 pour un spécial John McCain. Salut, bonne soirée à tous.